Yo, 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 it's your boy Bess, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 2, episode 10. On today's episode, I will be discussing the return of the NBA, and following that, I'm going to get back into my NFL mode and give y'all my best 5 plays from week 7, followed by my week 7 dogs. And then I'm going to talk about how the Eagles, my Eagles, the team I picked to go win the Super Bowl, is flying away as the favorites. And then I'm going to talk about San Francisco. Is it time to panic in San Fran? All right, I'm going to give y'all the answer to that question, and then I'm gonna end this episode with my Thursday night football preview between the Bucs and the Bills. All right, but as always, I want to thank God for waking me up this morning, allow me to talk about sports, which is something that I love to do. And without Him, I would not be here right now. So let's go ahead and get straight to the point, and let's talk about the NBA being back. The National Basketball Association is back, y'all, and it came back on Tuesday with two huge matchups between the Lakers and the Nuggets and the Warriors and the Suns. This year is already starting off with a hot start. All right, we're seeing the stars. The stars are coming out to play this year. All right, in the opening nights, opening the first couple of nights. Right, so in 2 nights of basketball, and since it started, we've seen Devin Booker drop 32 points, have 8 assists and 6 rebounds. We've seen Luka Doncic get 33 points, a triple double actually. Who I said is the best player in the league. For those of y'all that follow my Instagram account, y'all saw my top 10 players. And then Nikola Jokic had 29 points and a triple double. All right, we're seeing these stars come out and shine very bright and very early. All right, especially Jason Tatum last night, who had a big game as well. But let's talk. I want to talk about something real quick. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the NBA, especially now that the NFL is getting to some of the more crucial part of the season, where teams are. It's time to put up or shut up, right? Versus with basketball, it just started, and these guys got 82 games to go. 81 games to go. All right, some teams haven't even played yet. All right, so I do want to talk about one thing real quick, and that's Anthony Davis. All right, I want to make something clear, very clear. I refuse to overreact to one game. All right, that's what I'm not going to do. I watched a lot of shows today and talked about Anthony Davis, how this could be concerning for the Lakers. There's 81 games left. I understand he scored 17 points in the first half, zero in the second half. I understand he had 1 rebound in the first half. He had 8 rebounds in total. I understand he had a pretty bad game, but at the end of the day, it's one game. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and say he's terrible or say he's a bum or say he's gonna decrease the chances of the Lakers winning the championship. I'm not gonna do that, especially after one game. Because after one game, Harrison Barnes for the Sacramento Kings had 33 points in 33 minutes. That's a point per minute from Harrison Barnes. Are we expecting this the whole entire year? No. So I'm not expecting Anthony Davis to play this poorly the whole entire year. What I am expecting is the roller coaster that we've been on the past couple of years. All right, Anthony Davis goes from 40-point nights, 40 points, 20 rebound nights to 15 points, 8 rebound nights. Then goes and gets 30 and 15, and then comes back and get 18 and 12, something along the lines, right? Which we all know Anthony Davis is better than this. All right, we all know this. We all seen this. We saw in the playoffs last year. He dropped 40 points in in the Western Conference Finals, and then of course the next game he played pretty bad. So it's just the inconsistency of AD is what needs to improve this year. Now it's starting off on a bad foot, no doubt about it. But I'm not going to sit up here and say, "Ooh, Anthony Davis is going to be the reason why the Lakers are struggling this year." Not going to do it, because in all reality, he is the most important player on the team. He is the one that is needed the most. It's not LeBron James. It is Anthony Davis, because of his impact on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. We all know when healthy, Anthony Davis is top 10. And last night was not, Tuesday night was not a top 10 performance. But I do expect bigger days to come. Like I said, it's 81 games left. So I'm going to give y'all this advice, and I'm going to give all NBA fans this advice. For the first 30 games, 25, 30 games, just watch for fun. Just watch for enjoyment. Just watch these stars come out and perform at a high level. Just sit back and kick back and relax and just watch for the joy of it, for the entertainment aspect of it. Don't watch it for which team is proven to be an NBA Finals contender this year. Don't do that the first couple of games, because I'm telling you, it's a long season. All right, you saw the way the Lakers started out last year. Look at how they finished. It's such a long season that we can't overreact to what we're seeing in these small sample sizes. All right, we can't do that. And like I said, If we're gonna say Anthony Davis is a bum for what he did opening night, then we can say Harrison Barnes is the MVP candidate for what he did, and we all know that neither one of those are true. But with the NBA, like I said, I'm gonna be talking about it here and there every now and then. My next episode, I will be giving y'all my predictions on who I think is gonna be in the finals. And of course, I'm not gonna. It's already set in stone. I'm not finna look at game one and change my mind about anything. So I'm gonna do that in my next episode and give you my predictions for this year. But we're in the middle of the NFL season, all right. So we gotta stay focused on that. So as always, what I do on these episodes, I do my best 5 plays of the week. We all know that there's an honorable mention every single week, and the honorable mention this week is going to be my man Michael Thomas out of New Orleans. All right, he made a great grab on this play. Look, this was he didn't get 2 feet down, but he got a knee down. And for those of y'all that don't know, one knee equals 2 feet. All right, so this is a great grab by him. Great throw by Derek Carr, trusting your star receiver to go and make a grab. Now, Michael Thomas hasn't been Michael Thomas of old, right? When we look at production and number wise, but he shows us these flashes every now and then, and that's it hasn't been enough for the Saints to be too successful this year, but he does show flashes of the old Michael Thomas. And one thing that he is doing this year is he's being available. Right, that's been the argument over the past couple of years. He can't stay healthy, right? But this year he is healthy, he is upright, and he's giving Chris Olave that number 2 receiver that can help him get more opportunities and get open, so teams can't just key in on him. So great play made by Michael Thomas here. Then we go to my best 5 plays. Lamar Jackson's touchdown pass. Look, this play I think it was like 11.8 seconds, something like that, before he threw the ball. That's how much time he had to throw the ball. And it wasn't because the O-line just had great protection. It's because he used his legs in the pass game, right? That's one thing that Lamar Jackson can use and can he has that advantage more than other quarterbacks do, and that's his legs to be able to create time, to create space, to be able to get the ball out of his hand. I think Lamar Jackson of old would have took this ball and took off and tried to make a human joystick kind of play, but he's getting better. And when I say that with all respect, and because y'all know how I feel about Lamar Jackson, not the biggest fan, but he's starting to show that he can put the ball in the air. I need to see it consistently. Once again, let's keep seeing this week in and week out, because this is probably the best performance of the year. I've seen way worse than this year, but plays like this is what's going to help him separate himself from most quarterbacks, because most quarterbacks can't buy time, and he's using his legs not only in the run game but in the pass game. So great job, Lamar Jackson. Number 4, I got to go with Stephon Diggs. All right, you cannot. This is the second time I believe I've had him on the best 5 plays, and it's for the same reason. People just can't bring him down. All right, he's determined to get in the end zone. I think it was against the Miami Dolphins when they had him wrapped up for like a second and a half, and he broke it and took off for a long touchdown in this one and thought they had him down, but he kept going and got into the end zone. Stephon Diggs is making plays like this all year. This is why he is one of the elite receivers in the league. So great job, Stephon Diggs. Number 3, I got to go with Myles Garrett. All right, block punt. You know, they made a rule that you can't push down on offensive linemen to elevate yourself to be able to block kicks. Well, he didn't need to elevate to push nobody down to elevate nothing, because he is such an athlete that he literally just hurdled over this offensive lineman and got the block. Okay, plays like this is helping him make a case for Defensive Player of the Year. He's not gonna win it, because we all know who's gonna win it. That number 90, that bad man in Pittsburgh. But he making plays like this is going to help him make a case for being Defensive Player of the Year. Great job, Myles Garrett. All right, number 2, I got Jake Bobo, receiver from the Seahawks. Sound familiar, don't it? Because I had him on the best 5 plays a couple of weeks ago. He is making plays, y'all, and I don't mean little bitty, nice, okay catches. He's making elite catches in the end zone, and he's giving them that extra spark, right? We already talked about going into the season how they got Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. But he is saying, hey, we got a 4th receiver too that can make plays, and that is Jake Bobo. All right, so great job by him making this touchdown catch. They actually reviewed this because they thought he didn't get both feet down, but come to find out he did. All right, and number 1, Puka Nacua. I saw this play live, and let me tell you something. This grab right here, I knew for a fact he didn't get both feet down. Then they showed the replay, and indeed he did. All right, he is making plays like this week in and week out, even with Cooper Kupp coming back. Because I know we all remember Puka the first couple of weeks, all the catches, all the yards. Even with Cooper Kupp coming back, he had a 100-yard game. All right, so great job by Puka Nacua having that sideline grab, and he got hit, but found a way to get the 2 feet down for the best play of Week 7. All right. So next we got our Week 7 Dawgs. DAWGS, not DOGS. These are the best performers, best performances. I'm sorry, from Week 7. Number one, I gotta go with Myles Garrett. He is a dog. This past week, he showed us that dog mentality by having 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a blocked field goal. Edge rushers. I said this whenever the Texans drafted C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. When they got Will Anderson, I said they got 2 of the most important positions in football: quarterback and the edge rusher. A quarterback can take over games, right? He runs the offense. It's a big need. But right below that, maybe just a little bit below, I gotta go with edge rushers. Okay, because they can take over games. They can help you stop those elite quarterbacks, right? And they can also just make plays all around. We saw T.J. Watt get an interception. He dropped back into coverage and got an interception. We saw Myles Garrett jump over the line and get a blocked field goal. These edge rushers are doing way more than the edge rushers of old, right? We go back to the old days. Now, edge rushers are very athletic and they're making plays week in and week out. So great job, Myles Garrett, being a Week 8 dog. Number 2, I got to go Mac Jones. A lot of people surprised I put Mac Jones up here, but he went 25 for 30, 272 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We've been dragging Mac Jones throughout the first couple of weeks of the season. He got benched a couple of times, actually. He just hasn't been playing good football. But if we all can just think for a little bit, his rookie year, he had a good year under Josh McDaniels, a capable play caller, right? And then his next year, they had Matt Patricia and Joe Judge calling the offense. Though that's a defensive coach and a special teams coach calling the offense. Then this year, they get Bill O'Brien, who Bill O'Brien's a capable offensive coordinator, right? And we see Mac Jones struggled early this season, but this game, he looked good. He looked like the Mac Jones rookie year, okay? Hopefully he can build off of this, and maybe one day he'll be back on the week on the Dawgs list. But I had to put him on this week because I don't know if he'll ever be back. All right, so I had to give him a chance to get on the list. Great job, Mac Jones. All right, another Week 7 dog, Patrick Mahomes, 32 of 42, 424 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception, but he still balled out. When you're Patrick Mahomes and you go against the worst pass defense in the league in the Los Angeles Chargers, these are the numbers you put up. Simple as that. All right, Mahomes is proving why he is still the best quarterback in the league. He hasn't had a great year so far. This was the game that kind of said, okay, there goes Patrick Mahomes. I've been looking for it the first couple of weeks. The Chiefs have not been that impressive to me, but Mahomes coming out and have a performance like this kind of punches you in the face and lets you know that he is still that guy. Mahomes still the best quarterback in the league. Great job by him. Another quarterback that had a great Week 7. Kirk Cousins is also a dog as well this past week because he went 35 or 45, 2 touchdowns, also had an interception. But he played this way against the 49ers defense. All right, also had 378 passing yards. He played this way against a very elite defense, and he didn't look phased at all. I saw a lot of third downs, but he just sat back, took hits, and made throws. Right, Kirk Cousins single-handedly is trying to wheel this team back into the season. I thought this season was over. I still think it is, but he is having performances that is helping his team stay alive, even without Justin Jefferson. He's still putting up over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. All right, so great job by Kirk Cousins. And then a large part in Kirk Cousins' big performance was Jordan Addison, who was also a Week 7 dog, 7 catches, 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. 1 touchdown he ripped from Charbe. What's that boy name? Something Ward. Charbaeus Ward. Charbaeus. Oh my goodness. So the corner for the 49ers. Okay, number 7. Y'all look him up. All right, he snatched it right out of his hands and took it to the end zone before the half ended. All right, he is benefiting from Justin Jefferson getting hurt. All right, he is benefited by Justin Jefferson not being there. He has to grow up and be the wide receiver 1. All right, he just has to. Right, they drafted him to be that kind of that Robin to the Batman, Justin Jefferson. Well, now he gets to play in Batman's costume for a little bit until Justin Jefferson comes back, and he's actually benefiting from that because now that makes him a better wide receiver 2 whenever Justin Jefferson comes back. And not only is he just stepping in the suit of Batman, but he's also playing the role of Batman. And he is all in Gotham City, kicking butt. As y'all know, Batman does. All right. So great job by Jordan Addison, being a week 7 dog. All right. But speaking of the Vikings, no, I'm sorry. We're gonna talk about Philly real quick. My Eagles. And when I say my Eagles, of course y'all know I'm a Steelers fan, die hard. I bleed black and yellow. But these are my Eagles because I picked them to go and win the Super Bowl this year. Um, it's been a little rocky. Okay, they have a great record, right? But they have been barely winning games. Not even barely winning games. They've been this performance has not been great. It's not been what I expected it to be this year. They're not that team that just runs the ball all game anymore. Now we're seeing Jalen Hurts drop back 30 times a game and make passes. All right, and throw the ball to his receivers and Devontae Smith and AJ Brown and his tight end and Dallas Goedert. So this is a new look Eagles team that I think kind of needs to get back to its old ways. But even trying to figure out its new way, they're still beating teams. They beat the Dolphins 31-17. The Dolphins, this red hot Dolphins team, they put up 70 against the Broncos and was toying around with Dan Jones and the Giants, and they beating up on Bryce Young and the Panthers, and beating Mac Jones and the Patriots, and beating basically this team is overrated. I said it last week. I said the Eagles will win by 20. Unfortunately, they won by 14. They could have went up by 21 if Nick Sirianni didn't kneel the ball out instead of trying to go score again. So my prediction was wrong only because they were respectful and went ahead and kneeled the ball instead of going to score. They had the ball on like the 10, somewhere between the 10 and the goal line, and they didn't want to run a score up. But this was a statement win. This was a win that they didn't desperately need, but I say they needed it because they needed to get back. I think that Jets game was kind of just a slap in the face. You know, sometimes I think teams, and this has happened all throughout history, teams will coast a little bit, and just because you win a game don't mean you're playing great, right? It was winning games. It was 5-0, and it wasn't playing great. And that's why I kept telling Logan, when Logan would tell me how the Eagles aren't looking like the Eagles, despite that, they were still winning games. That's why I was so confident. That's why I am so confident. And then they went against the Jets, got punched in the mouth, right? Jalen Hurts had 3 interceptions. Then they go into this game, and they looked good from top to bottom. Jalen Hurts had that one pick, and it's because the ball got deflected, all right? It was kind of a bad decision. He thought he could get the ball. He thought he could get the ball past the defender, but it got tipped up and intercepted. But so take away that interception, and that interception was returned for a touchdown. Take away that, you score 31-10, right? So I think Jalen Hurts played great this game, despite that interception. 23-31, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns and interception. And his number one receiver, A.J. Brown, man, has been on a tear since that whole argument between him and Jalen Hurts on the sideline in Week 2 against the Minnesota Vikings for the past, that's 2 games. So for the past 5 games, he's been over 125 receiving yards. He's just been he's been hot over the past couple of weeks. 10 catches, 137, 1 touchdown. So I think that this Eagles team, I would love to see them run the ball more and efficient like they did last year. But they're trying to kind of go the passing route, the passing game route, which to me isn't a bad route to go because Jalen Hurts is capable of doing it. I saw him do it when he went toe-to-toe with Mahomes in the Super Bowl and outplayed who people think is the best quarterback of all time. He outplayed him on the biggest stage. This is why I was so confident in this team going into this year. And you're telling me that Jalen Hurts has not been playing elite and they're still 6-1? That makes me even more confident because he's only going to get better as the season goes. All right. And then they added Kevin Byard this past week, the safety from the Tennessee Titans, who was a former All-Pro. Now, he's not a top 5 safety. He's not elite, right? He's not a Mega Fitzpatrick or a Derwin James or a Buda Baker, not even a Jesse Bates. He's not that anymore. But he is way better than anything the Eagles had at the safety position. He's still a playmaker, right? He still go out there and make plays. And mind you, that was the weakest spot of the defense. They addressed it. Howie Roseman is the best GM in the league, hands down, no questions asked. Because anytime he sees a player that is available that can make his team better, he's going to go and get him. We saw it last year with A.J. Brown. He went and he got A.J. Brown from the Titans. Now he went and got Kevin Byard from the Titans. All right, these are two players that were AJ Brown. We saw his instant impact. And I think Kevin Byard would do the same. He would have instant impact in the secondary. So there's no more weak spots in this team now. This team has a good secondary led by Darius Slay, James Bradbury, and Kevin Byard. They have a great defensive line with Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, right? The defensive line is stacked. You look at the offensive line led by Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson, they're stacked. You look at the quarterback position, they have an elite MVP candidate from last year, Jalen Hurts. They also have a great receiver core with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, right? And then they have a running back in DeAndre Swift, who we saw put up 175 yards in the second week of the season against the Minnesota Vikings. This team is legit. This is the best team in the league to me. And it's between them and the 49ers for the best team and my best team, right? I'm not talking about I'm talking about roster wise, best teams, right? And I think that they just put themselves head and shoulders above everyone else with this Kevin Byard addition. And now I think it just made my Super Bowl pick a lot more comfortable. I was always comfortable, but now that you added a star in that secondary, I'm even more comfortable. All right, and the Eagles have just flown away, and I don't see nobody catching them. I don't see nobody stopping them either. All right, so the Eagles, like I said, they beat the Dolphins 31-17 on Sunday Night Football. Those wonderful Dolphins that everybody love to talk about. They handled business. It was a statement win. Like I said, a hot team coming into Philly. Guess what you did? You punched them in the mouth. You put them in their place. And even though the score is not as separated as I wanted it to be, I wanted it to be a 20-point win. That game felt like the Eagles was going to win from the beginning, from kickoff. Even when Jalen Hurts threw that interception and it ended up being 17-17, right? That pick six, it ended up being a tie ball game. He walked right down the field and scored again and made it 24-17. Right? Like I think this Eagles team, I just knew they was gonna win the whole entire game. Like I did not get worried not one time. All right, because this is a legit team, unlike the Dolphins, who is just fool's gold. Everybody love to see the points and they love to see the speed with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They just love to see the Tua story, right? Tua going through what he went through last year and coming back this year and playing pretty well. But his team is not on the same level as the Eagles by far, and it's not even close in my opinion. All right, so that is that about Philly. I'm about to move on to the San Francisco 49ers. All right, this is a question that has been pretty much asked throughout sports media over the past week, couple of weeks actually, since they lost to the Cleveland Browns, they lost to PJ Walker and the Cleveland Browns, and then they came and also lost in Minnesota to the Vikings. All right, is it time to panic in San Fran? Heck no. Not even close. I'm nowhere near panicked. I had this team going to the NFC Championship, and they are going to go to the NFC Championship. This is a team that is right now have the injury bug. All right, last week against the Cleveland Browns, the week before last against the Cleveland Browns when they lost, Chris McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel got hurt in that game. Trent Williams also got hurt in that game and started left tackle, but he ended up coming back in and trying to play it out. This past week against the Minnesota Vikings, Trent Williams did not play. Deebo Samuel did not play. Christian McCaffrey wasn't 100%, but he played. All right. So we're looking at an offense led by Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan. It was led by Kyle Shanahan, really. And then Brock Purdy is kind of the puppet, right? And Kyle Shanahan's the puppet master. Well, Brock Purdy is not an elite quarterback. He's not a Mahomes or a Joe Burrow or Aaron Rodgers. He's not an elite quarterback. What he is, he's an elite system quarterback. Okay? He can kind of make plays beyond the routine plays, but he's not going to be able to go off script. And that's the thing. Kyle Shanahan draws up such a great script. He's the best offensive play caller in the league. He draws up a great script, and Brock Purdy has perfected that script. He's mastered that script. But as soon as that script starts to get torn up a little bit or starts to shift a little bit, I don't trust Brock Purdy in that aspect. And over the past couple of weeks, him losing his running back and his star receiver, and then this past week, him playing without his starting left tackle and his star receiver, it's going to hurt him a little bit, right? And we saw that. He threw two crucial interceptions in the fourth quarter. He ended the game with going 21 for 30, 272 passing yards, a touchdown, and those two interceptions, all right? So he didn't play terribly, until the fourth quarter came around and he kind of gave the game away. But what really frustrated me in this game was the 49ers defense. I'm not really worried about the 49ers offense because Kyle Shanahan runs their offense. The 49ers defense, though, the Vikings went 8 of 13 on third down. The Vikings only punted once. All right, you know how I know because I betted on the Vikings kicker to punt. I think he had to punt like 6 times or something like that, and the whole game he punted once. Right? This is at the end of the day, I think it's one of them games. It's one of them games where we didn't play 49ers football, right? And the Vikings came in determined and they won the game. This is not a to me, it's not a big deal. But watching these shows that I watch, right, the first takes and the Undisputeds and the first things first, they're starting to react to it. They're starting to say the 49ers, I don't know about the 49ers. I remember a couple weeks ago I called my granddad and it was when the Eagles lost to the Jets. And I said, why are people saying it's a time to panic with the Eagles? The Eagles lost one game. Why are they talking about this? And my granddad said, hey, they gotta talk about something. Right? It's a sports show. They gotta talk about something. They can't just, but this is not that kind of show. I'm not the kind of show that's gonna overreact to little stuff. Right? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna react to a loss. Never did I ever say the 49ers or the Eagles would go undefeated this season. I never said that. I know they would lose some games, right? Not necessarily to the Jets and to the Browns and to the Vikings, but I knew they would lose a game here and there, right? The 49ers are just fine. They're only going to get healthy from here, right? Trent Williams missing that game. I believe he'll be back this upcoming week. I just heard that Brock Purdy is in the concussion protocol, but he can pass that before game time this upcoming Sunday. All right, so I think this team is just fine. All right, it's just a little bump in the road. It happens. Nobody's gonna go 6-17-0. Nobody expected that. So these two losses to me, these two losses for the 49ers kind of helped my Super Bowl prediction with the Eagles because now I think the Eagles would definitely win the NFC, which means they'll have the home field advantage in the playoffs. But the 49ers is just fine. Okay, I don't see this happening too much anytime soon. I think that they're going to bounce back this upcoming week, and I believe that this San Fran team is still one of the best teams in the league, despite these two losses. All right, so that's that, and that's why I'm gonna leave it. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and overreact to a loss on the road in Minnesota. Just not gonna do it. All right, my Thursday night football preview between the Bucs and the Bills. Who do I got? I think that's a simple answer. It's the Bills. All right, the Bills to me need to have this bounce back win. They have to. Okay, they lost to the Patriots last week. We was all surprised by that. Josh Allen came out on the first pass and threw an interception. All right, I think from that play on, the Patriots just had motivation at that point. They're like, oh, Josh Allen gonna have one of those games. Okay, we can go ahead and feast on that. And they end up getting the win. So Josh Allen to me is about to have one of them big games that we all look at him and say, oh, he top 5. You know what I'm saying? I think it's one of them kind of games because he has to. He has to get back into that mentality because low key they're kind of on a slump. They lost this year to the Jets, to the Jaguars, and now to the Patriots. Normally they don't lose this much this early in the season. They just don't, right? So with that being said, I do believe that this team is going to bounce back and they're going to have a big day. The Buccaneers, I can't bet on Baker. I just can't do it. Baker Mayfield to me is he's had a couple of okay games, but like last week when he threw the game away against Atlanta, threw an interception. That's typical Baker Mayfield. And I think the Buccaneers, people that are kind of believers in the Buccaneers, are kind of fooled right now because the real Baker is going to continue to show up. Right, the first couple of weeks, I think I was an imposter. That was not Baker Mayfield. But the last game, you saw the real Baker Mayfield. And then in Buffalo, in prime time, we will see the real Baker again. All right, so I'm expecting the Bills to win this game by a lot, actually. Okay, I'm expecting them to go out there and make a statement win. I think they have to because, once again, you lost to the Patriots. Got to get this season back on track. The AFC is packed. The AFC is tough. All right, so you need wins to be able not only to get into the playoffs, but to get a couple of home games because of how difficult the AFC will be. This is a huge game for the Bills. If they lose this game, then I can start to be a little nervous about this team because of the amount of losses they have, and not just that, but they're losing to teams that they have no business losing to. Like I said, lost to the Jets with no A-Rod. They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I'm not that impressed about anymore. And then they also lost to last week to the Patriots, who people was questioning if Bill Belichick should be fired, right? So I think that Josh Allen will have a big night, and the Bills will get back on track. All right. But that is it for today's episode. I'll try to keep it a little short. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be back tomorrow. All right. So this is I'm a little off right now. Right. Today's Thursday, and I'm posting my Thursday. Today's Thursday, and I'm posting this episode today. I'll fully posting the first episode of the week on like Tuesday, but because of school and everything like that, I kind of got off. Once again, send a prayer to Logan and his family. They're going through a little something right now. So y'all continue keeping me in y'all prayers. I know he's in mine, and I'm just waiting for him to get back whenever he's ready. My arms are wide open, waiting for him to come back because I do miss talking about football with him. Like I said, the NBA is back, so y'all make sure y'all enjoy this time of year. This time of year we have the NBA and the NFL on at the same time. All right, so enjoy it because we all know that between July and September, June and September, it is very difficult because there's no basketball, there's no football on. So y'all make sure y'all enjoy it now. All right, y'all stay safe. Tonight we got, like I said, the Bills and the Bucs tonight. Also, the Milwaukee Bucks play tonight as well. Some more NBA action on tonight, so y'all just stay tuned. I'll be back tomorrow with my Friday episode. But much love, stay safe, enjoy sports while we can. Much love. I'm out.